Whoa, Cowboy Nation, really appreciate you all. Been a long day, but we made it, we survived. There's been a lot of challenges, but I want to talk to you all a little bit about the Dallas Cowboys versus the New England Patriots. We've been hitting this thing for a long time now. The Cowboys must start off fast. They must figure out ways to hit the opposition in the mouth, surprise them, turnovers and takeaways. And we got a few injuries on our side. The New England Patriots got a few injuries on their side as well. LVE is out for us. This linebacking core been up and down, been a lot of highs and lows. One can argue a lot of lows. I think that that's come from continuity. I think that that's very important, especially coming off of that linebacking core. They set the tone as it relates to hitting people and these sorts of things. The screen pass, we've seen how that can go into the wrong areas, right? So I think that LVE been nursing that injury for a while now, and it just all of a sudden, all of these things is adding up. So hopefully, the guy that fills into that role, maybe it's Sean Lee's of the worlds, or maybe it's somebody else. I think Joe Thomas is hurt as well. So we got our backs against the wall. This is the game that this should be like the highest game rating, this week. And everybody got their eyeballs on the Dallas Cowboys, because the old mantra is saying that the Dallas Cowboys can't beat a team that's a winning team. Like, we make the schedules. You know how they go, right? Like, the Cowboys said, you know what? We're going to play this team and that team, and they're going to have this record. All I can say is we can only play what's in front of us. Now, here's the thing. The teams that we did lose against, like the Saints came and the Minnesota Viking games, very winnable games. So I can't just really put that on the Dallas Cowboys of saying that they can't win against winning percentages or winning teams or what have you, because most of those games came down to the wire. Green Bay Packer game, if we beat the Green Bay Packer game, it'll be because, we was at home and can they beat them on the road type of talk. That would be the narrative there. So there's always an angle when you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, So just like the offensive line. Boy, it's the greatest offensive line in the world, They're good against the pass and they're horrible against the run all of a sudden. It's just always a hidden narrative. And you can poll 1,000 offensive linemen and tell them, hey, would you prefer to pass block or would you prefer to run block? And I guarantee you, over 50% of them are going to say, man, give me a run block situation. Neither here nor there. Dak Prescott, the average offensive line that we're supposed to have, is playing out of his mind. I had somebody ask me a question and say, hey, is Dak Prescott elite? You talked about Ezekiel Elliott not being elite anymore, and you saying that he's sullying Ezekiel Elliott's name and these sorts of things. And I said, well, Dak Prescott is playing right now at above average rate right now. And he's entering in, this is the craziest thing. Just hear me out, don't crucify me. He looks like he's entering in the elite category. He's not there yet. Don't put the anointing oil all over him. He's still got some things that he's going to have to improve on and work on. But right now he's entering in that area. It's Pat Mahomes elite. He's entering in that era, or he's entering in that phase. Because to be elite is not just what you do in one season. It's what you do in multiple seasons. It's what you do in multiple moments. It's how you really manage the team. It's how you really can win games that you don't supposed to win. That's what elite quarterback does. Now, Law, can a game manager be an elite quarterback? Yes, he can. And we see it all the time in natural ways of the world. And on top of that, when you're talking about elite, meaning that when everything is going wrong, everything from A to Z, you figure out ways to find wins. Whether it be stroke of luck, one could say that, or whether it be just pressing yourself and being ready for that opportunity. I'm not one of the guys that's going to go out there and saying, hey, Dak Prescott is elite. Ezekiel Elliott is still elite. Hey, man, Jason Witten is elite. See, you got to understand, Jason Witten, at some point or one point of his career, he was elite. But he's not elite at this point. Jason Witten is pretty much an average tight end, or right there. See, it's a conundrum, basically. He's an average tight end with elite knowledge of the game. Boy, now I'm pouring some information onto you. When you know the game, you can understand where the people need to be at, where the block and scheme need to develop at, and then you can see everything. As slow as he runs, he knows his opposition. He knows what to beat in this particular defensive formation. It's like he sees everything out there. Even with Romo, before he got injured or hurt and got kicked out of the league, because you know how that goes, right? You can't play if you ain't healthy, right? He began to see the field and everything slowed down for him, you see. But either your body will fail on you, or, when you elite at that point, your mind and everything else goes away because you can't stay on the field because of the health factor. So that's why you see a lot of old seasoned quarterbacks do some crazy things. But neither here nor there, not to talk about Tony Romo, because I do know some people are only going to hear one side of it, right? But what I'm trying to say is that when you have the caliber of knowing the field like a Jason Witten, you may have the average body, but the elite mind, but the body has light on. For another example, Sean Lee. There's not a player on this defense that probably seen more than him, you see. See, Sean Lee is an elite mind, probably with above average or average at best body. You see how that goes? Now, when I'm talking about Ezekiel Elliott, is he playing at an elite level? Think about this. I hear so many people crying about, hey, he's up against 8, 9-man fronts, and this is why he got these rushing yards. This is why he can only run for 40 yards, because of the offensive line is trash. I want to tell people to say that to Adrian Peterson when he was going through his phases of his career. He had a guy named Christian Ponder throwing him the ball. He had a porous offensive line, but he was still able to see that explosiveness. You knew that you had to bring everybody in to tackle him. It was regardless, even if you put 10 men in the box, impossible. Adrian Peterson during his first few years was a dog. I just think that Adrian Peterson team played at a horrible level, and then on top of that, some personal outside issues got in the way as well. So what I'm trying to bring home is that this team is okay. The Dallas Cowboys versus I don't want to call them the Cheatriots. I don't want to call them the Patriots. The Dallas Cowboys versus the Patriots. They got an elite coach who's seen the field, who understands that not to take any game too high or not to take any game too low. He got multiple Super Bowls as an assistant, multiple Super Bowls as a head coach. He's been in this thing for a long time. He knows the personnel well. He's a defensive-minded person. And his whole job is to take away what you do best and make you play left-handed, basically. So we can't be folding around here and sitting around. We got to come with our A game. We got to be locked, loaded, and ready. And we have to be one of those teams this weekend to punch first and hit them in the mouth. And if we can have our defensive edge rushers to know that the Patriots are going to pass opposed to running, here's the unique thing about the Patriots. Although, the Shawnee Michelle's, they got multiple running back sets and these sorts of things, they have not been gashing a lot of teams as it relates to run fits. But neither here nor there, we've seen the Dallas Cowboys roll up on the Jets thinking that we're going to do something to them and we fold it up like lawn chairs. We've seen the Dallas Cowboys, basically, the Detroit Lions, 26 against the run. I'm not lying, and 28 against the pass. Although we did a good job against the pass, but we did a horrible job against the run. And to me personally, like I said all this week and the week before that, a win is a win is a win. We are an explosive team. We do. We can explode. We got explosive players. I think that Michael Gallup was a gem for us. Even picking up Randall Cobb off season was a fantastic move for us. And then on top of that, when we do give the opportunities and the chances for Tony Pollard to run the rock, he's been doing some fantastic things for us, a change of pace running back. It's just the fact that this coaching staff need to figure out ways to give the opportunity and spread it all the way around and utilize the mindset of this team to figure out ways to have everybody to be a part in this thing so that the opposition cannot see what's going to happen. Our only problem, our only issues with the Dallas Cowboys is just we don't know which team we're going to get from Sunday to Sunday. It may be a motivated team. It may be a team that's willing to run through the wall behind us, or it may be a team that start off lackadaisy. Depending on the opposition, depending on the opponent, that's how we play. Maybe we're going to be ready for this game. Maybe the Hot Boys are going to show up. I just want the Cowboys to show up, but maybe the Hot Boys are going to show up. Maybe the Purge Squad is going to show up. We don't know. That's what makes the Dallas Cowboys unique in a sense. Since the Jason Garrett administration, or a little bit before that, we always been that team that we just don't know. We never really walked into the building and said, you know what, we're confident. We're going to tear down the opposition. We're getting a little bit, just a little bit against the Giants. But even when we play against the Giants, we say, hey, whoa, coach, what is that? You see. So, in my many of years of following the Cowboys, especially since the Jason Garrett administration, you just really don't know. Is this a gun pointed at Jason Garrett saying that, hey, brother, you better play right, you better coach this team up right? Here's the craziest thing of it all. Even when we succeed, how can we give this credit to Jason Garrett when you know for sure? It's crazy. He's not calling the defensive plays. He's not out there running and hitting the opposition, right? And then on top of that, even with the offense, he's not calling the offensive plays out there. So when people say that, hey, when we win, when we defeat the opposition, why don't Jason Garrett get the credit? Because it's kind of like, man, hey, I turned this assignment in and this group project. Yes, I might have did some coaching behind the scene, but during the actual game, I'm just sitting on the sideline delegating, which is good, which is cool. But you really don't see him in the huddle and doing the things. You think I'm lying? Go back and watch all of the sideline clips and let me know what he's doing outside of saying, good job, slapping people on their backside saying, good job. We really want to see him pull everybody in and sit there and say, on the field, play by play, and coaching these guys up in those crucial moments. But we don't see that out of Jason Garrett. And we get called fickle fans or not true Cowboy fans when we call that out. So I don't know. We love Jason Garrett, the person, but we kind of like on the fence with Jason Garrett, the coach. But, you know, some people going to look at it and say, well, you know, Jason Garrett, he's really the second winningest coach of all time for the Dallas Cowboys, which is true. You give somebody an opportunity that many times, what you expect. With this amount of players on this roster, we should be nowhere close to 500. We should be nowhere close to 500. That's just the reality of it. And that's the way I look at it, because I can't make this stuff up with Jason Garrett as the head coach. If he beat the Patriots hardly, and he beat them badly, I don't know what Jerry Jones is going to do. Maybe Jerry Jones is going to say, that's my son. And my son showed up the best head coach in the National Football League. And since I love my son, and since he beat Bill Belichick, even with his camera crew on the side, you know what I mean? I'm going to extend my son to a 3 to maybe a 5-year contract. Who knows? Or he can hold his feet to the fire and say, that's a good job, but I'm greedy. I want more. I want a ring. I want hardware. And if you can't give me that, that's the door. But 9 times out of 10, This game right here is going to be a pivotal moment for this organization, this franchise. Think about what's all in the loops. Dak Prescott, his situation. Can he beat a winning team? Jason Garrett, can he outcoach the opposition? Can he outcoach Bill Belichick? And I'm going to go ahead and say, if nobody said that Barry Switzer outcoached the opposition, then nobody should be saying that, hey, hey, Jerry Jones, this guy Jason Garrett just outcoached the opposition. Should be two and fro. It should be the same two things, you know. Should be some equivalency out here. But, you know, it is what it is. I want to know your thoughts, real talk. I want to know how you all feel. Do you think that Jason Garrett, if he win this game, Jerry Wayne Jones is going to sit back and say, you know what, that's my son. It was a pivotal game. Let me go ahead and give this guy a contract extension / raise or what have you. Or he said, okay, well done. Good job. Give me some more stuff. Let me know how you all feel about this. In this pivotal moment for Dak Rain Dakota Prescott. I'm about to say Dak Rain Prescott. Well, however you put it together, Rain Dakota Prescott. Will this be a pivotal moment for him? You know, MVP talk. This is a winning team. This is a well-coached team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Let me know how you all feel about that. Or Ezekiel, the main man, Elliott, if he goes out there and put up 150 yards like he's supposed to do, right? Now, if he goes up and put up 100 yards, would you guys back off of saying that, hey, you know, nothing wrong with Ezekiel? See, I told you. Or if he put up another 30 yards, 20 yards for 20 carries, how you guys feel about that? We're only speaking objectively out here, you know. We don't want to be able to put ourselves in the fire. We just only speaking objectively. We don't call the plays out there. Or if this coaching staff again refuse to use all of the weapons that they have and say, you know what, we don't want to use this automatic weapon here. We don't want to use this grenade. Just give me the pocket knife. If the Cowboys do that, opposed to using all of their weapons, we have a bigger problem than we think. And it may not look good down the line. Speaking of down the line, that's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. I'm out. Hit that like button, share this content. Let a friend, neighbor, foe know where to go when they want to tune into Dallas Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Oh, I forgot to say, YouTube reached out to me and they granted me permission to have a members club. So in those clubs, we will have a silver package or a silver membership, a gold membership, as well as a platinum membership. And they all are elite membership packages or membership qualities. There will be behind the scenes stuff. There will be quote unquote film session reviews, requests, you know, observation requests, however you want to call it, as well as other things that's going to be around those membership qualities. And I really appreciate you two for doing that and helping me grow this thing. And you guys never know, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And when you guys are taking that one step with me, man, you just never know how we can look back and say, man, we started off with Lawwin and he was here. And now we there, all over the TVs and all over the world or the universe. Let that sink into your mental. I'm out. Peace.